Introducing Meta Ray-Ban Display, the world's most advanced AI glasses. With a full color display built into the lens of the glasses, it's there when you need it and gone when you don't. Send and receive messages, translate or caption live conversations, collaborate with Meta AI, and more. Be one of the first to try Meta Ray-Ban Display. Visit meta.com/Meta Ray-Ban Display to book a demo and find your pair.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. New players, new games, new rules. Squid Game, The Challenge returns for a gripping second season. 456 contestants from all walks of life, competing in the ultimate test of strategy, alliances, and endurance. For a life-changing prize of $4.56 million. With stakes this high, why make friends when you can make millions? Watch Squid Game, The Challenge Season 2, only on Netflix November 4th.
Well, welcome to February 22nd. This is Stephen Rothberg. I am the founder of College Recruiter job search site and one of the two co-hosts of this, the Inside Job Boards and Recruitment Marketplaces podcast. You may notice that my co-host, Peter Zollman of the AIM Group, is AWOL, absent without leave. There's a cell phone outage that's kind of going around North America today. And apparently the cell phone gods decided that where he lives, Orlando, Florida, was going to be one of the spots with bad coverage. But his loss is my gain, because now I don't have to worry about him teasing me at any time in the next 15 minutes about hockey, weather, whatever. I am really excited about today's interview with Leon Zussner of Jobvibe. Leon, welcome to the Inside Job Boards and Recruitment Marketplaces podcast.
Thank you, Stephen. Thanks for having me today.
Awesome. So before we dive into like the real meat of the conversation, for the listeners who don't know you personally, who don't know Jobvibe, take a minute. Like, where are you from? Where do you live? What does Jobvibe do?
Yeah, so I'm in the UK. I live in London. Originally, I'm from Austria. I came to the UK 6 years ago to pursue my studies. And during my time, we set up a startup called Bubble, which was essentially an Android iOS app to simplify the recruitment process. And slowly, that evolved to what is now known as Jobvibe, a video platform allowing companies to create more employer branding content, authentic videos to showcase who they are, what they do in a much more engaging way.
Cool. So your customers are primarily employers, probably recruitment agencies, maybe the recruitment process outsourcing, the RPOs, those sorts of folks, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So from hospitality mainly, we're looking into more tech side of things, companies that have a remote work setting structure, but mainly I'd say HR teams that aim to get more content out.
Okay. Now, when I think of video for recruitment, some of the video that I think of would be more along the branding side, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. This is our organization. Maybe even like, this is our community that we live in. Come work for us, and you get, access to all this culture, all this outdoors, whatever. And other video I look at as being very job focused. We're hiring a sales engineer for our, Vienna office. If let me tell you about it, and if you're interested, apply here. Do you do both? Just one?
Yeah, so that's interesting. So we, under Jobvibe, we have a marketplace, and that marketplace essentially hosts a lot of videos from different companies. And usually companies would opt for that sort of full-on, who are we as a company? But then the part of Jobvibe, which is that sort of SaaS solution, allows companies to request videos from their employees and create, as you just said, that sort of one of, that's my job role, or a day in life as, a sales representative, for instance, and to really get that unique personalized experience, whoever is watching it and is considering to apply. So yeah, we do offer both ends.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the when the candidates are in the marketplace,
Yeah.
if there's a company that has a very prominent brand, Apple,
Yeah.
right? Microsoft, Google, I'm sure there are plenty of candidates who are going to watch that sort of general branding video, but I'm guessing you're going to see a lot more go right to the actual role that they might be interested in. For companies that do not have a strong brand, do you find then that there are a lot more candidates going to that general branding video? This is who we are, and then they go to the job video, or do they sort of like? I guess what I'm asking is, do the candidates who are using Jobvibe, are they first caring about the organization and then the role, or are they first looking at the role and then later the organization?
Yeah, no, that's interesting, Stephen. I think it's culture, is number one thing, priority still for candidates. They want to work for a company there that, has a positive culture that aligns to what they're, aspiring towards. So I think, and there's two things to that. Traditionally, you had companies creating, very polished videos that are landscape. You'd usually find them on their career pages, talking about, their people, the brand, and that's all very curated. I guess
I would call it unauthentic or inauthentic.
Yeah, I mean, depends what your company culture is, I guess. But yeah, I think
I can say that because we're not in the video business. You have to be more careful.
Okay. Yeah, I need to be careful here. But I'd say, if you put, that's a landscape video. So if you put that, let's say, on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, where most Gen Z actually hang out, does it really resonate? Because they're obviously seeing videos that are just taken by, your cell phone on the go like that. So there are the two types of videos, right? And when you talk about, what video would they go first, we always encourage the companies that we work with to, regardless if you're just posting about one video of that specific job role, to maybe have another snippet on there introducing some other team members, just to showcase that culture bit, right? So I think that's the beauty about that more authentic on-demand videos rather than that traditional polished video, is that you're actually able, you have more creative freedom to,
Finding a great career has always been a challenge. But today, with the massive changes underway in just about every sector of the economy, in just about every country in the world, finding a great new career is even more challenging. And if you're a student, recent graduate, or someone else early in their career, it's even harder for you because you just don't have the experience that those who might be 10, 20, 30 years older than you have. The answer? The podcast, From Dorms to Desks, a podcast by College Recruiter job search site, where every week we take a deep dive into a topic specifically of interest to candidates who are early in their careers and looking for a great part-time, seasonal, internship, or other entry-level job.
Ultimately combine both worlds together.
I love the encouragement that you clearly give to your customers, or even people who don't use Jobvibe, but you're just, it's like, hey, I know one or two things about this. Let me give you my 2 cents worth. If you choose not to listen to me, that's cool. But I want to help. And if you are also a customer, even better. But the idea of sharing videos from actual team members, I love. So we're going to talk about the young adult piece in a second. When I was a young adult, which was like in 1862, but when I was a young adult, the only team member that you typically met with or knew anything about before you started working was the hiring manager, the person who usually would be your boss. And that's great, because that, I think, is probably the person that matters the most.
Yeah.
But other than maybe happening to bump into a potential coworker on your way in or out of that meeting, you didn't really know, and that matters.
Yeah.
I think the cliche is that people come to work for you for the job, but they stay for their coworkers.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you're able to kind of give people a peek at not just like, this was what the office looks like, but this is the person you're
Yeah.
going to be working with.
Yeah.
Now, when you mentioned Gen Z, or as those of us in the US would say, Gen Z,
Gen Z, right?
because hey, it might have been the Queen's English or King's English now, I guess, but America. Just kidding. So
Yeah.
Gen Z, do you find how they consume or use recruitment related videos? Do you find that's different than millennials, Gen Xers like me, baby boomers?
Wow. Okay. So that's interesting because I was just reading a piece of research, and that piece of research showcased or introduced me to Generation V, Generation Visual. And under that Generation Visual, they they put together Gen X, Millennials, and Gen Z.
Okay.
And they showed that 90% within that sort of demographic, they demand visual content as the primary source of information and delivery. So I would say that yes, Gen Z are much more, they're more, I guess, demanding in terms of that visual piece, that video piece when it comes to job search and looking into a company. But actually, Gen Z, Gen X, and millennials also prefer that kind of, information and delivery. So that's really interesting, and that's something that sometimes when I speak to companies or um, that's something that comes up is why do we have to change everything for Gen Z?
Yeah.
But actually millennials and Gen X also want that. It's also under their preference. What I do say is that Gen Z, the difference here is that the how quick they take on that information. So a Gen Z would require probably 1 minute of a video, and
Okay.
maybe a Gen X and millennials would rather prefer a longer video.
Okay.
So I just from and that's mainly that's how Gen Z take on that information on TikTok and Instagram. It's all snappy, quick, to the point. So they're used to that.
Right. Yeah, that real short form is so much more popular now, and like you say, they're used to it.
Yeah.
So one of the I think we've got time for like two more questions, so I'll go
Yeah.
fast. So the first one that I wanted to ask is before we got on, you were sharing with me that there's like some content is easy to push out to talent, whether it's Gen Z, or millennials, but like for employers or others who are trying to promote their employment opportunities, what's the easiest kind of content that they can push out to young adults?
Yeah, so I think a day in life video is probably one of the easiest way. Now, here's the challenges: is you need to identify within your organization who is an early adopter, who can create a video, who's comfortable creating a video, because that's also a barrier, really. But if you have a young person in the team, I think they're very much used to creating a quick video, a day in life. And the easiest thing that we say or we encourage is just take Instagram as the video. It's really, it has a short time frame. You can edit it, some text, and download that and push it out really across different platforms. So that's the easiest way to just get started.
Cool. And
quickly.
And in terms of also getting started, there are going to be loads of whether you call them a job board or recruitment marketplace that just, this is not in their business, right? They sell resume or profile searching. They sell job postings. They don't have the capability, the expertise, the resources to do video. Do you partner with other job boards, recruitment marketplaces where they can do like a rev share or something like that with you? How do you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a successful partner actually up in Scotland that we work with. It's been now a year and a bit, and that has been working really well. We're in talks with other partners as well. So we're always seeking to partner up. I think it makes sense, right? If we're not that well known, but you have a cool technology, to get, out there and have that sort of win-win mindset.
Right. So
Yeah.
and if you don't want to like say who the partner is in Scotland, that's cool. But is it sort of like they're reselling your product to their customers, and then you provide like a private label version of it, or how, and then share revenues, or how does that work?
Yeah, so it's usually a shared revenue model that
Okay.
we suggest, and then they sell our platform, jointly with us. We provide all the assets and support and do a demo and how it works, because we constantly innovate within the product. So yeah, that's how it usually works in terms of the partnerships. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I was taught a word years and years ago called co-opetition. You can cooperate,
Competition. Yeah.
and you can also compete, and sometimes it's sort of the same, but co-opetition is
Yeah.
great. Well, Leon,
Yeah.
thank you so much. This has been great. And for anybody who wants to reach you, LinkedIn URL is down there, or I'm
Is it
sure they
down
can
there?
just go to jobvibe.io, and I'm sure you have a very easy contact us option there for them.
Thank you. Thanks, Stephen. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. Good to see you again. Cheers.
Good to see you. Bye.